Here with another segment on how to improve your martial arts fitness program. Last couple segments we've talked about class structure, predominantly the 45-minute kickboxing class on the heavy bag, what I consider the bread and butter of martial arts fitness programming, and definitely the bread and butter of my UBC programming, Ultimate Body Shaping courses. Now we do have other class structures, cardio, karate, rhythmic, Taebo style class. We have a 45-minute boxing class. But when we talk today, we talk about motivating your student and having an exciting instructor. We're going to be talking predominantly about the 45-minute kickboxing class, which is the class I think we all should start with because it appeals to such a wide variety of people. Now, one thing we talk a lot about is structure and making sure that your students or yourself stay to the structure of the class. So many times an instructor will try to vary the class or change the class because they start getting bored with their own class. Well, I've got news for you. You're going to get bored with your class a lot faster than the students are. You know, you take your class every time you teach it to where your students, especially those other instructors, may only work with you once or twice a week. Or even if you are teaching all the kickboxing classes, you've got to think about what you're competing against. The treadmill, the elliptical, the stepper, boring activities that really have no variance. So the fact that you can change the combinations every once in a while and mix in a little bit gives it enough variety to keep the interest of the student, but never forget the student's goal is to get a workout in, not to be entertained by you. Now, after saying that, since the class is kind of laid out for you, step by step, minute by minute, what does the instructor, what's their role? Well, of course, their primary role is to guide the student through the class, to make sure there's good transition and easy movement from one technique and combination to the other, and making sure that everybody understands it. But at the same time, as they're doing this, this is where the instructor's personality should have a lot of influence. And I talk a lot. I have right now about 15 instructors that teach for me. Now, some are male, some are female, some are younger, some are older. All of them have their own personality. And I like that. I like the fact that I have a wide variety of instructors working in my facility because that then attracts a wide variety of clientele. When I teach a kickboxing class, because I have fighting background, I've trained with the legendary Joe Louis in dirty old boxing clubs, and I know what it's like to be a real fighter. So I kind of bring that element to my class. You know, I'll say things like, come on guys, it's the last 30 seconds of a scheduled 10 rounder, you're behind that point, you gotta push it, come on, take this guy out. And I'm talking in a broad term to the whole class, which my goal is to take the student and put him in that ring and visualize that fight so that last 45 seconds or minute or the class itself is not so, you know, looking at the clock, you know, how much time do I have left, taking them somewhere else. So I do a lot of that. I also will utilize some instruction during my class. In other words, I will talk to the classes in general of straightening out their side kicks or making sure they fully extend their punches. Because I have that knowledge and I share that with the students, and that's my personality when I teach the classes. Now I have another young lady. She's a 22-year-old. She's got a lot of energy. She kind of bounces off the wall, and that's the class she teaches. She's very up. A lot of come on guys, let's go, and count it down. Maybe try to get the class involved, but not too involved where the 45-year-old man on the heavy bag that doesn't want to count with the crowd, the group doesn't feel like he's letting everybody down. You know, also let's talk about the music you use. That's also an important element of your class in making the class fun. First of all, you need to have a quality sound system. I cannot emphasize that enough. I think, again, the whole idea, when I teach a kickboxing class, I want it to be an experience. I want it to feel like the student almost feels like they're going somewhere. And high energy music at a volume where the student can actually kind of feel the beat and the energy of the music is essential for them to really get that sense and feel of the movement and the music and everything working together. Realize we all know that exercise releases endorphins. Well, endorphins are the same chemicals that drugs and alcohol release. And what do people like to do when they take drugs and alcohol? They like to listen to music. So if they've got the endorphins being released from the exercise and you have a really good sound system with some energetic music, you get that same sense of, sometimes almost euphoria of just burning it out. You're with the music and you're just hit that bag and you just get that rush. And of course, that's a healthy rush, and that's what we're trying to get our students to feel. Because if they feel that, they're going to be back to class. So a quality sound system, that also a sound system that you can also utilize a microphone. Instead of you having to scream over it. Unless you have a really strong voice, you're not going to be able to have the volume loud enough the students can hear you. So it's important that we have a sound system where we're able to bring the voice and the commands into the music. And what kind of music? Well, this is a very important issue. You do not want to bring in certain styles of music. What do I mean by that? You know, you don't want to start bringing in jazz. You don't want to start bringing in country. You don't want to start bringing in rock. For one thing, unless you're paying, BMI or some of these other companies, you're not allowed to do that. You have to stick to fitness music. And why is fitness music so important? Because it's designed for what? Fitness. And when it comes to kickboxing, there are some companies out there that really do sell some excellent kickboxing music that has a fast pace to it, between 140 to 155 beats per minute. I personally don't like a lot of vocals. I want really just a quick, fast tempo music. And I let my students know the music, is not really a sense of entertainment. It increases and contributes to the workout, because the faster tempo the music, the faster tempo they're going to punch and kick those bags. And again, there are some good albums out there, good tapes, kickboxing CDs that have that. And again, I avoid the vocals. I try to get music that's rhythmic, that's fast, and high energy. And I recommend that you do the same thing.